Jeffery Epstein, the case the system didn't want open. This case was never supposed to finish. Before we say his name, you need to understand something. Jeffery Epstein did not evade justice once. He evaded it repeatedly, across decades, across jurisdictions, across administrations. And every time the system had a chance to stop him, it hesitated, not because of lack of evidence, not because victims didn't come forward, but because too many powerful interests intersected around one man. This is not a conspiracy story. It's a paper trail story, written in plea deals, flight logs, sealed records, and decisions that were quietly made behind closed doors. If this is your first time here, understand the contract this channel makes with you. We do not speculate where facts exist. We slow down where others rush. And we reopen cases the system prefers forgotten. Subscribe now, because once this file opens, nothing about power looks the same again. January 20th, 1953. Brooklyn, New York. Jeffrey Edward Epstein is born into a middle-class Jewish family. His father, Seymour Epstein, works as a groundskeeper and later for New York City Parks and Recreation. There is no inherited wealth, no family connections to finance or politics, no visible ladder to elite society. This matters because everything Epstein later becomes contradicts his starting position. By the early 1970s, Epstein attends Cooper Union, then later NYU, but never completes a degree. There is nothing remarkable on paper, and yet by 1974, Epstein is teaching math and physics at the elite Dalton School in Manhattan. Dalton educates the children of Wall Street executives, politicians, diplomats, legacy families. Epstein is uncredentialed, but he is confident, charming, and observant. Former students later recall him as socially adept, unusually interested in personal backgrounds, comfortable around wealth. This is where the pattern begins. Epstein doesn't dominate rooms. He studies them. 1974 to 1976. At Dalton, Epstein befriends the headmaster, Donald Barr. This relationship is critical and rarely explored deeply enough. Donald Barr is not just an educator. He is a former OSS intelligence officer, the precursor to the CIA, a connected figure in elite circles, the father of William Barr, future U.S. Attorney General. In 1976, Barr recommends Epstein for a job at Bear Stearns, one of the most powerful investment banks on Wall Street. This recommendation bypasses academic requirements, standard hiring pathways. Epstein joins Bear Stearns as a junior assistant, quickly moving into client-facing roles. Again, no finance degree, no formal credentials, but access. At Bear Stearns, Epstein learns how money moves invisibly, how wealth is hidden, how accounts are structured across jurisdictions. He also learned something else. Secrecy is more valuable than intelligence. By 1981, Epstein leaves Bear Stearns. The circumstances remain murky. Some accounts suggest he violated internal rules. Others say he was pushed out quietly. What matters is what happens next. Epstein immediately forms his own firm, J. Epstein Ozo. The firm claims to manage money only for clients worth over $1 billion. This is unusual, but what's more unusual is this. Almost no public client list, no visible marketing, no traditional investment footprint. Yet Epstein's wealth grows rapidly. This is not entrepreneurial success. This is financial opacity. One client is confirmed beyond dispute. Leslie Wexner, billionaire founder of Victoria's Secret and L Brands. The Epstein-Wexner relationship becomes the cornerstone of Epstein's rise. Wexner grants Epstein power of attorney, access to assets, authority to buy and sell property in his name. This level of trust is extraordinary. Through Wexner, Epstein acquires a Manhattan mansion, later valued at $77 million, private aircraft access, entry into elite donor networks. Later investigations reveal Epstein transferred properties from Wexner at below-market prices. Epstein controlled shell companies tied to Wexner assets. Wexner later claims ignorance of Epstein's crimes. But the financial relationship remains deeply unusual. This is not advisory work. This is control. Everything up to this point is documented, not alleged, not speculative. Subscribe because now the financial mystery intersects with criminal behavior. By the early 1990s, Epstein is socially ubiquitous, but institutionally invisible. He appears alongside U.S. presidents and former presidents, four heads of state, royalty, Nobel Prize winning scientists, intelligence-adjacent figures. Epstein hosts salons, funds scientific research, donates strategically, but he never explains how he makes his money. That silence is the key, because the people around him don't ask. Flight logs later recovered show Epstein traveling extensively on private aircraft. Passengers include wealthy associates, staff, and underage girls. The logs list Caribbean islands, New Mexico, Florida, Europe. The aircraft gains a nickname among insiders, the Lolita Express. This is not rumor. Flight logs are sworn evidence. Yet at the time, nothing stops it, because there is no mechanism to stop private power when institutions look away. Victim testimonies follow a consistent pattern. Girls, often from vulnerable backgrounds, are recruited under false pretenses. Massages, tutoring, modeling opportunities. They are paid cash, then exposed to abuse, then pressured to recruit others. This is not isolated misconduct. This is organized trafficking. Palm Beach police begin receiving reports as early as 2005. Detective Joseph Carey builds a case. Evidence includes multiple corroborating victims, physical descriptions, timelines, payment patterns. The case is strong. It should have ended everything. It didn't. This is the heart of the failure. Federal prosecutors, led by Alexander Acosta, enter into a non-prosecution agreement with Epstein. The terms are staggering. Epstein pleads guilty only to state charges, serves 13 months, allowed work release 6 days a week. Victims are not informed, violating federal law. Immunity granted to unnamed co-conspirators. This last clause is unprecedented. It legally shields people who are never named. Acosta later claims he was told Epstein belonged to intelligence. That statement is not proven, but is on record, and it has never been fully investigated. After release, Epstein resumes, global travel, elite gatherings, recruiting young women, despite being a registered sex offender. This is not a loophole. It is institutional tolerance. Media coverage fades until one journalist refuses to let the story die. Journalist Julie K. Brown publishes an investigative series exposing the deal, the victim's exclusion, the protected individuals. Public outrage explodes. Victims speak publicly. Civil suits reopen. The system is forced to respond. July 6, 2019. Epstein is arrested in New Jersey, charged federally with sex trafficking of minors, conspiracy. Evidence seized includes cash, false passports, hard drives, photographs. For the first time, Epstein faces real exposure. But the clock is running. Epstein is found dead in his cell at Metropolitan Correctional Center, New York. Rue des Suicides. But cameras malfunction. Guards fall asleep. Cellmate removed. Suicide watch downgraded. Every safeguard fails. Simultaneously, Jeffrey Epstein never testified. No full trial occurred. No co-conspirators were named in court. The man is dead. The network remains intact. Subscribe for part 2, because next we follow the flight logs, the money, and the names that never appeared on an indictment. This case didn't end. It was interrupted.